Hi, my name is Victoria Miles. I am the Artist Award Manager and Curator here at the Tacoma Art Museum for the Current Artist Award. The Current is launching a series of videos where you'll hear from myself and my committee sharing about works from TAM's permanent collection that are resonating with us as they align with the Current Artist Award. In these first two videos, you'll be hearing from me. I will be sharing works from the lovely Carrie Mae Weems and Charlene Liu. So the first work we'll be discussing today is Not Manet's Type by Carrie Mae Weems. This is a 2001 offset photolithograph. It is the second photograph in her 5-part photographic series that is titled Not Manet's Type, and this series was created in 1997. So this is really a series of self-portraits where you can see Weems is not only the model, but she's also the muse and the creator. And I think that's super important to know to really understand the purpose of this piece. I'm really drawn to this piece for a couple of different reasons. One being it's by the lovely Carrie Mae Weems, and the other is really the subject matter. She's in her bedroom, she's standing over a bed, she's a bit in the nude, and I like to think that bedrooms are like private, intimate spaces, and so this kind of sets this tone of intimacy for this photograph, for this series already. You can see the bed, it's a bit messy, and I point that out because it really makes this work appear more personal. I feel like whenever we invite people into our spaces, or whenever people peer into our spaces, especially the more personal spaces in our home, they're always a bit more tidy. And so just to kind of see the setting and have it open where the bedding is a bit a mess just really adds to this layer of vulnerability. And all of this is reflected through a mirror. Beauty is a central theme to Weems's work as she analyzes race, class, and gender through like intersections of beauty. We know that mirrors are like tools for reflection, but they're also tools of beauty that often lead to critique. I think understanding the narrative voice will really like illuminate what the intentions for this piece is. So here she says, "It was clear I was not Manet's type. Picasso, who had a way with women, only used me, and Duchamp never even considered me." With this, she's really positioned herself amongst these championed canonical figures in art, these male figures who are considered like giants. And she's really scrutinizing and allowing viewers to participate in this critique about the ways in which they have failed to properly represent Black folks, Black existence, but more particularly Black beauty. I think the way that she's able to position herself with very familiar names is a very smart method and a new entry point for folks who are just getting into art. She is willing to critically look to the past for us to better understand the present. So the artists that she mentioned are considered to be a part of this art canon, particularly modern and Western art. And for artists to be considered part of that canon, they have to have works that are like critically acclaimed. They're exemplary works, and often other artists look to these as guides in their own work. And I think her pointing out this failure to properly represent Black women and their works allows people to participate in that critique that she's opening up with this particular series. We know that images are powerful tools. Not only do they communicate and help like evoke emotion, but they also are tools for information. And I know that Weems recognizes this in the way that she's positioning and inserting herself in this to engage us in this critique. Weems really is scrutinizing these representations and ideologies of beauty and race that were so prevalent during the 19th and 20th century. There's a clear reason why she's calling out Manet. I think to works like Olympia. There is a Black woman who appears to be a Black maid in the background of this painting, but she's so awash in the background that you barely notice her compared to her white counterpart who is laid on the bed. And I feel like this is one of the ways in which she's critiquing how Black people are portrayed, kind of like relegated to these supporting roles in art history. With Picasso just presenting Black women as like exotic novelties. And like she says with Duchamp, he never even considered me. We really weren't existent. He did not paint us. She's mentioned before, like while she really reveres these artists, she cannot trust them in their engagement with the Black body. And I really appreciate that Weems is willing to exist outside of what we understand art history to be and what we understand art to be, and to position herself in this series to say, I am here, this is how I'm being presented. For me, this really aligns with the current because that's similar to the work that we do in making place making room for Black artists on our own. So I really appreciate this kind of critique from the lovely Carrie Mae Weems. Thanks for joining us in this iteration of The Current Corner. Until next time.